All right, today is Monday, June 27, 2018. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes CSI implementation group. So we are wrapping up the previous quarter's work, Q2. The items there are listed here. Unfortunately, Luis is not with us, so let me ping him. So I think the big major outstanding items were the documentation and updating the sidecar containers. So the sidecar container external provisioner was awaiting review and looks like it's been merged since. So that is good. We can go ahead and turn that green. The second one was external attacher. Travis, any update on that one?
Yeah, that one I did have a PR for, and it has been merged. Do you want me to put links in these docs?
Yeah, that'd be great, just as reference.
Okay, sorry, I'll do that here while I'm muted.
Did you sort out what the test issue was?
Yeah, I did. It came down to a change in protobuf 1.1. They added some hidden fields that if you keep like a golden master copy of a protobuf message and you do a reflect.deep equal in it, it will now return false. So you have to use proto.equal instead of reflect.deep equal. So I actually had to write some code to
That's interesting.
Add a custom matcher to the Go mock testing code. But it works. It just took me a while to figure it out.
Very cool. Thanks for
I have one comment there. I actually have an outstanding PR open in CSI test as well that reflects this. I should ping someone to take a look at it.
Cool. Yeah, feel free to throw that in the PRs that need attention section at the top. And hopefully we can get someone to take a look at that. So that is excellent progress. Actually, yeah, it's merged, so we'll go ahead and mark that as green. The CSI driver registrar one is already green. CSI sanity is green. And updating the mock driver is green. Next up is updating the actual CSI drivers. Travis, looks like you've been signed up for all this work.
Yeah, and actually, I should have caught it last Friday when we talked about it, but there's actually a PR open for this already from Matthew Wong at Red Hat. It had been open for 9 days and no one had reviewed it. I reviewed it this morning, added a simple question to it. I'll add a link to it as well. But it looks like he took care of it. So
for all three of these?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
For the host path one or for NFS and iSCSI as well?
All of them. Yep.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. So let me throw in a link to that as well.
Okay. Can you actually make that orange? Perfect.
Oh, I didn't realize it was in suggesting. Sorry.
All right, perfect. So that's looking good. Kubelet device plugin registration mechanism. We had documentation and end-to-end testing. So we'll have to wait on Luis for an update on that. Block volume alpha support. External documentation we decided is probably not needed. Since there's already common Kubernetes docs. Vlad, you were going to confirm that. Did you get a chance to do that, or?
No, I'm trying to remember. It's been a week. Well, there is external. So external doc is documentation inside the CSI documentation, right? Is that what we're talking about?
External docs meaning KS docs?
Oh, that guy?
Like the external public Kubernetes docs?
Oh yeah, that was done a while back.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that documentation is in there along with um,
And this is for block volume?
for block volume CSI.
Perfect. So
Yeah,
mark
it's
that as green.
basically states that it's in there and how to turn it on with a gates.
Could you throw the PR in there just for reference? And then
Absolutely.
we can stop tracking that. And then internal dev docs, I guess we basically are dependent on Luis for this. When he gets a chance to take a look at this, hopefully he syncs up with you.
Okay.
And we need a driver or mock to test against.
Right.
This we could probably move into the next quarter as we go forward.
Yeah.
One bug fix merge. So yep, that looks good. All right, cool. So I think good progress. The next thing we need to do is cut 0.3 versions of sidecar container. So basically all of these guys. So let's do this. Cut 0.3 version of CSI provisioner sidecar container. We'll leave that unassigned. Mark it red. And this will finish off the 0.3 release. So there's the sidecar container. There is the external attacher. And for CSI Sanity, do we cut releases as well for mock driver and CSI Sanity?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we can take a quick look here. So if we go to CSI test, look at releases. Okay, so they do releases as well. So let's say CSI test 0.3 release. And then the next step for these three is pushing them to Quay, new container.
So that was one thing I noticed and commented on in my review of that PR for the updates of the existing drivers. It's the, I think one of them, in their deploy YAMLs, they're referencing an old like 0.1 version of the sidecars, and it's coming from Docker Hub instead of Quay. And I thought it was the only one I found like that, which I thought was strange. It was for the Flex adapter. So.
Flex adapter. Okay, so that means that hasn't been updated properly.
Yeah, in a very long time, it seems.
Okay. What is the dependency on the Flex driver to which container?
It had just one for the CSI attacher and the node plugin, but no provisioner.
Okay, so, yeah, those should be upgraded.
Okay, well, good. That was my PR review.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, thank you for catching that. So normally I think Luis is the one who does the cutting and pushing of the sidecar containers. Since he is not here today, is anybody on the call interested in doing this? It would require probably syncing up with Luis to understand what the process is, and probably pinging me to make sure you have the appropriate permissions. And Luis can probably grant those permissions as well. Chang, are you interested in this?
I think David is interested.
Okay, I see his comment there. David, do we also want to cut this? I can do this. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. And cut minor releases of external components for 0.2x. David, could you clarify what your first comment is? I'll monitor the chat window here because it looks like your mic's not working. Are you proposing cutting a new release? Okay, so there were PRs introduced post 0.21 for external attacher. There were bug fixes. Since between 0.3 and 0.2, there were no bug fix. Actually, yeah, go ahead and do it. I imagine 0.21 is going to be identical to 0.3, right? Yeah. Either way is fine. Either just push 0.3 or push both 0.21 and 0.3, up to you. Whatever makes sense. I'll leave it up to you to decide. All right, thank you. So I'll put your name down for these. And for the CSI test library, I think it's just cutting. We don't actually push it to a container, so that should be good. That's pretty much all that we have left for this release. So documentation and cutting these releases. And then the drivers getting updated, which are all in progress. Next up is what are we working on for 1.12? We did a planning session at the storage SIG last week. And going forward, we're going to use this spreadsheet to kind of keep track of work. If that becomes too painful, we can pull it back into the doc again. But basically, anything with a CSI colon in front of it is work that we're tracking for this quarter. Do take a look at the priority of these items. So if you have multiple items assigned to you and you're wondering on what you should focus on first, take a look at the priority. So some of these things are lower priority. So other than that, let's see. Bug fixes that need updating. We had this one outstanding for a long time. So hopefully we get an update within the next week on this. Then Kube API server throttling external provisioner. Matt Wong was looking at this. I'm not sure if there were any PRs that came out of this or not.
Yes, I did ask him to open a PR, I think,
Okay.
last week. And it looks like he did.
We should get Chris to help verify these once.
Okay.
That would be a good sanity check. And I'll make a note to look at these as well. So I think this is actually being addressed by the issue above. External provisioner should not issue delete calls between retries. We'll just go ahead and indent that under the same. CSI volume source, FS type incompatible with CSI spec. Did we get that into 1.11? Looks like it's part of 1.12.
Yeah, I just noticed this one.
Okay, so it looks like there is a PR out for it. It didn't make it into 111. Should be a fairly easy bug fix here. So basically the ask here was don't specify a default FS type. Leave it empty and let the plugin decide what it is. So Vlad, I'll leave that for you to review.
Okay.
So we go ahead and mark that as in the works. So that's looking good. And then PRs that need attention, we can go ahead and remove the ones that are green. Winner 0.3 general purpose drivers getting updated soon. Adding CSI drivers with plugin watcher. Merge, that looks green. Repo reorganization, I'm just going to go ahead and mark that as not very high pry. I don't think we need to continue to track this. Inline CSI volumes. Proposal is out and it needs review. I know Jan is holding a meeting to discuss this on Monday, 9 p.m. Pacific time. If you want an invite to that, please ping Jan and he can add you to the meeting invite to help discuss that. Existing PR for driver updates 0.3. This should already be. Okay, so these are the driver updates that Matt Wong sent.
I think the discussion on Monday is just about the CSI plugin registry, right? Or is that something?
Yes. Is the issue here? I guess the issue here is for
Inline volumes?
inline volumes. Yeah. I wonder if he's tackling both of them together or separately. Let's take a look at this PR. Okay, so this is actually, you're right, that's a good point. This is a separate PR. So it's a separate design, worth taking a look at too. So if you're interested in that, please take a look at the PR. There's not a meeting to discuss it.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarification. And then CSI test, I believe, has already been updated thanks to Travis. Yep, and we're tracking that below, I believe. Travis, I'm going to go ahead and just move this underneath the item. Oops.
Sure, yeah, this was just really pinging someone to take a look at the PR. It should be straightforward.
Okay. I'll just copy them in both places. That way we can keep track of it. CSI test. Do you have an item to track this? Let's add a new item.
To be clear, CSI test was already 0.3 compatible and tests were passing. But when I added a new test for a very specific call, it would fail. And so I had opened the PR to demonstrate that and then supplied the fix.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you for that clarification. And then let me copy that. Actually, we probably track this as a bug fix. But we probably want to fix that before we cut this. So I'll put it here so that we don't lose track of it. David, can you make sure that Travis's fix goes in before we cut the CSI test? Cool, thank you. All right. So those are PRs that need attention. So that's pretty much all that we have. Next meeting is going to be on Wednesday. I'm going to be traveling internationally beginning Monday for 3 weeks, Monday evening. I'm going to try to still make these meetings, but if I end up not showing up, can one of you just go ahead and start running it? And if I join, I'll pick up from wherever you leave off.
Can anyone start the meeting using
Yep.
that?
You should,
Okay.
as soon as you're in, you should be able to. Everyone should be able to get in without me.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else?
That is it.
Cool. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on next Wednesday.
All right.
Thank
Safe
you.
travel.
Take care.
Thanks, Saad.
Bye.
Bye.